Techniques to acquire customers. Acquiring customers using paid, owned, and earned media. When we think about ways to acquire new customers, there are a plethora of tactics which can be categorized in three groups: paid, owned, and earned media. Paid media are any third-party advertising channels where you pay to show your ads to an audience. This includes paid ads on search engines or social media, website banners, sponsored articles, and such. The second group, owned media, are those media outlets where you have complete control over the content and features. Those are, for example, your own website, social media accounts, and mobile applications. And lastly, there's earned media, other places where people can talk about you, a blog post, on social media, or through reviews on sites like Amazon, TripAdvisor, and many more. Simply put, customers will hear about your brand in three ways: indirectly through paid media, directly through owned media, or through word of mouth with earned media. Understanding those subtle but important differences will impact a customer's life cycle, their decision journey. The customer decision journey. Defining the customer life cycle. Amazingly, when marketers are asked about their customer life cycle, many have never thought about it, or worse, don't know what it is. You can use a classic approach of attract, engage, convert, and retain, which applies in most cases. I added advocacy, which in today's world of social media will close the loop and attract new people into the cycle. Let's look at an example for the automotive industry. Attract, as the name suggests, relates to all the marketing activities aimed at making your brand more visible. The engage phase are the activities visitors do as part of their decision process. Read about your product on your site or on other sites, use a car configuration tool, etc. Convert is reserved for the activity that most closely send a signal of business outcome. Typically, those could be an e-commerce transaction, but it can also be a lead, finding the nearest dealer, contacting human resources for a job, and other activities. Retain are all the things that happen once you are a customer: subscribing to a newsletter, using a knowledge base, requesting support, scheduling a car inspection. Advocacy are word of mouth and social media activities conducted by your customers, doing press reviews, ratings, and similar earned media activities. The customer lifecycle will put a name on each of those steps and define a common language with the marketing team and other stakeholders. Although this classic marketing funnel approach is sometimes challenged, conceptually, it is still a very important element of marketing. In 2009, McKinsey published an interesting paper where they essentially said that the linear funnel that we knew about in marketing doesn't really work anymore. It's more like a cycle. If you think about your own consumer experience, when you want to fulfill a need or a desire, you will go online and you are in the initial consideration set. You look at the brands that you were exposed to recently or the brands that you remember. While you do that, you are in the active evaluation phase where you might stumble on new brands, new products that you didn't think about initially. Or you might abandon some of the brands that you initially thought about. Eventually, you will reach a point where you engage with some specific brands and you will consume their content, videos, you will look their social media, reviews, and things like that. The trigger point, the moment you decide to make a purchase, whether it's online or offline, doesn't really matter, but there's a moment of purchase. You make a decision. And based on this experience, there will be different triggers, different moments where you contact customer service and things like that. You enter the loyalty loop and you might actually do additional purchase. You might even contribute to the consideration set of other people by leaving reviews and comments. And this goes on, and this is more representative of the longer term consumer experience with a brand. There's a similar concept from Google called Zero Moment of Truth, or ZMOT. The concept is similar. The path isn't linear anymore, It's a multi-channel, multi-device, and it's interrupted by triggers or moments. Keeping in mind the consumer decision journey isn't linear anymore, but a circular process in which consumer keeps actively evaluating the product by gathering information, and this goes on until the decision is made. This highlights the importance of executing with excellence at every moment. Excellence starts early in the marketing process with techniques such as segmentation, personas, and persuasion scenarios, as we will see next. Techniques to tune your marketing strategy. The days of spray and pray are long over, and tuning your marketing strategy involves various techniques. Creating personas which represents the attributes, needs, and wants of your audience. Creating segments to address the right message at the right time over the right medium and to the right audience. And crafting what we call scent trails, so each persona can easily find their way toward a goal. Now let's discuss these strategies in detail, starting with segmentation. Segmentation is an important concept in marketing. Instead of looking at your audience as a monolithic block, it is best to divide them into subgroups based on shared characteristics. Those characteristics can be the location where they live or work, demographic attributes like gender and age group, life events like buying a first car or welcoming a new baby in the family. Whether they use a smartphone or a tablet, or any other creative ways of segmenting which makes sense for your own specific organization. Some attributes can be inferred, like assessing wealth and education based on census data, or they can be first-party data, such as when your customers will provide relevant details about them. Use customer segmentation to develop relevant marketing and user experience flows. In fact, segments are directly tied to another marketing concept, personas. Once we've looked at segments, the next logical step is to look at personas. In user-centered design and marketing, personas are fictional characters created to represent the different user types that might use a site, brand, or product in similar way. Marketers may use personas together with market segmentation, where the qualitative personas are constructed to be representative of specific segments. The term persona is used widely in online and technology applications as well as in advertising. Personas are useful in considering the goals, desires, and limitations of brand buyers and users in order to help to guide decisions about a service, product, or interaction space, such as features, interactions, and visual design of a website or mobile application. Remember, personas aren't perfect representations of your customers. They should highlight and contrast their major attributes. This helps put yourself in the shoes of your customers and build persuasion scenarios which will pave the way toward conversions. Persuasion scenarios are like scent trails. The key to success comes in using techniques that lead visitors down an information scent trail, not unlike that of a hunting dog following the scent of its prey. Research on this topic started as early as 2001 at the Xerox Palo Alto Research Center. The study indicated that humans track information in a similar fashion to the way animals follow a scent. They begin at the center and they follow a trail based on its information scent. If the scent is sufficiently strong, the surfer will continue to go on that trail. But if the trail is weak, they go back to the hub. People repeat this process until they're satisfied. The scent trail represents the optimal path to conversion for a given persona. Empowered with segments, personas, and scent trail, you are equipped to tune your marketing strategy. If we want to be customer-centric, create scent trails and design for persuasion, we should put ourselves in the shoes of our customers and strive to understand their motivations and satisfaction factors. If we balance those against our business imperative, we can create a digital experience that will cater to the right audience at the right time, the right place, and to answer their needs. So we will look at the customer perspective. Who are our customers? What they want to accomplish? And are they successful? But we balance that with our own strategy. Who do we want as customers? Can we help them? And is it aligned with our strategy? The concept of persuasion design is often applied to website design, but it can also readily apply to other aspects of marketing, such as when creating display ads banners. Let's look at the JetBlue ad banners example. Every successful advertising campaign contains a clear and compelling call to action, or CTA. This button tells the user what the next step is and how they get from the advertisement to the JetBlue website, moving them further down the funnel and closer to the point of conversion. This is referred to as the scent trail, the path you would like the targeted audience to follow. When it comes to selecting a CTA, you want to focus on language that is relevant to your brand, service, or products and completely obvious to the user. Anything ambiguous can confuse the user, and even if they click on the CTA, arriving at an on-site page that doesn't meet their expectations won't result in a conversion. That being said, you want to avoid generic language like learn more or read more. While this can be relevant to what you're promoting, it isn't unique to your brand or even your industry. JetBlue used language tailored to their industry and brand in their digital ads. Let's summarize what we've covered so far with another example. BRP is the manufacturer of the Can-Am Off-Road. They are on a mission to create new ways to explore your world. And their Can-Am Off-Road vehicles are marvelous pieces of design and technology. Their customer lifecycle can be resumed with the classic attract, engage, convert, retain, and advocate. But the reality is probably closer to McKinsey's consumer decision journey. People shopping for this type of vehicle are gleaning information from multiple sources, online or not, and exploring other compelling brands like Honda ATVs, Polaris Off-Road, or John Deere Gator utility vehicles. The concept of scent trail applies early on in the user experience, such as Google AdWords campaigns, which will automatically provide info about the nearest dealer and present specific call to action like build and price, promotions, find a dealer, and such. As we have seen in this lesson, putting the customer at the center of our marketing practice and using simple, proven techniques will make it easy to leverage digital media. Key takeaways. This concludes the lesson on fundamental concepts of digital marketing. In summary, the digital aspect of marketing only means technologies and media are leveraged in day-to-day marketing activities. The 5 P's of marketing, price, promotion, product, place, and of course people, applies to the digital world. And your marketing strategy rests on 3 pillars: paid, own, and earned media. If you understand your customer journey, segments your audience, and create scent trails, you will be able to adapt your marketing strategy at every step of the way.